So you're starting a stretch here where you play Mets and Yankees 10 times in 2 weeks. I think it's 26 straight games against teams with winning records.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean anything?
It does. It does. Obviously, playing teams that are talented, that are playing well, we're going to be forced to play really good baseball or consistently well to win more than we lose. Not a lot of reprieve after this last off day. There's a lot more baseball as far as consecutive days. I just think things have just got to be, more buttoned up on the pitching side, making sure the defense and obviously the hitting has got to continue to do what we're doing. But this is going to be a good test for us, and you can't run away from the fact that we're playing some good teams.
Is the key part of this kind of setting up where you guys are in the standings for the stretch run of the year? Obviously, if you can come through this okay, you might be in a good spot. If not, you could have a more kind of strenuous kind of second half. Is that kind of part of what makes this so important?
I think in reality, yes. I think that obviously this stretch, could be defining. But I do think that with all that said, you've got to focus on each day at hand. And that's what, we've been very good at doing, and we have to continue to do. So I'm not going to worry too much more after this conversation about the 26th game. We're worried about tonight and whenever we start this game, and sort of pick up the pieces and do it the next day.
Where you are with the pitching staff, are you ready for a stretch like this?
I think we are, yeah. I think that with that said, with the pitching staff, I think it starts with the starters, where, as I mentioned a couple days ago, that we're going to have to push these guys a little bit. We'll see where tonight goes with Clayton, and I say that with a caveat because this is his second outing back. But I think everyone else, I've got no problem really kind of pushing more to give us some more length than we've gotten early on the season.
What are you kind of looking for Clayton right now as he keeps building up and kind of getting back?
I think with Clayton, like I said before, the stuff was really good, I felt. The command wasn't quite Clayton-esque, and so I would expect that the fastball command would be better, and he would get some more swing and miss with the slide.
Considering the results, were you surprised how upbeat he kind of sounded after that outing, or was that sort of maybe a positive sign? All right, I can dial in a couple of things with the command, and then I'll be where I want to be type thing.
I think two things. I think that he was very excited to be back on a major league field, pitching for the Dodgers, and I think that seeing his stuff kind of be good, I think that was encouraging for him. And the other stuff I feel that, is fixable.
When you say you want to have things buttoned up on the pitching side, what do you mean by that specifically?
I just think that, looking kind of doing a little small look back, we've been working behind hitters too often, not being efficient with our pitches, giving up a lot more slug than we're used to. So that's kind of it. And also with that, the defense, we can't be giving up outs on the bases or, giving up extra outs.
Do you know what the plan is tomorrow for Ohtani, the pitching-wise?
I think there might be he might be facing some hitters. So it's a progress for Shohei, and I'm not sure which guys are going to be out there, but it's going to be out there on the mound, and he's going to be facing hitters.
How is this kind of build-up going to look for him? Is it going to be just in sim games? Is it going to be on a weekly basis? You guys know exactly how it's going to look over the next couple months, or is part of it depending on how these go as they come?
I think honestly it's how they go, and you kind of get to the next step. A lot of it is going to be contingent on how he's feeling and then what the next step is. So I don't think anyone knows how the next couple months are going to look.
now that like his progression's actually starting to like ramp up to like base hitters, so, like how are you seeing him sort of like? Do you sort of see him sort of like getting more anxious to be part of the pitching side of himself again after a couple of years and stuff like that?
He doesn't tip his hand very often as far as emotions, but I don't see how he couldn't feel that it's starting to become more realistic.
Will it feel more real to you once you see him out there?
Yeah, it will. I think that we've seen the bullpens for quite some time, so to see him going out there and trying to get some major league hitters out, I think we're all anxious for that.
How many pitch count are you kind of expecting for him to pitch tomorrow?
You know what? I don't know that answer right now. I just got word that that's what's going to happen. I'm not sure.
There's not gonna. You guys aren't planning to do like a minor league rehab with him at this stage still.
No, at this point, no. Obviously, the build-up's important, but so is him taking it 5 at-bats in a game.
How will you guys kind of like monitor his health as he starts to ramp up on the pitching side more, even just like on how he's feeling on a daily kind of like freshness perspective?
You know, Shohei is very in tune with his body, but I mean, there is even a possibility if we feel as we build up that he's taxed on a particular Saturday that he doesn't play that game. I just don't know how that looks. I really don't. But I think that we should obviously be open to however he's feeling.
Do you think the increased activity will impact his offense at all? I know it's just coincidental, but he threw 50 pitches in a bullpen session last week and then went 0 for 6 that night.
I think it's certainly possible. I don't know that, Bill. I mean, it's certainly possible.
How has the stuff kind of? I know obviously it's like bullpens and fly ground sessions. Like how has the stuff maybe looked compared to like how you guys would envision it looking, and how much are these next few weeks not just about building up, but also like seeing how he kind of needs to calibrate coming off the second surgery?
I think he's calibrating really well. The stuff looks good. I mean, it's easy 94, 95 coming out of his hand. It's a really good throw. I think we're all anxious to see how it looks to hitters, but you know, when he decides to ramp it up, I'm very anxious with that too. But you know, it's all on his schedule. It really is. You know, when he's going to introduce a slider to hitters, when he wants to really ramp up velocity, all that stuff is between him and the doctor.
How did you guys make a decision to do live meetings?
That's more Dr. Shohei driven. That's what, and then also with our training staff. So I think those 3 components came up with the decision to have the live BP tomorrow.
So you felt comfortable.
We all felt comfortable, yes.
Dave, how hard has it been to do what you guys have done with your pitching staff in flux as much as it has been?
You know, it's certainly not easy. Where I think with pitching and when it goes well is when you can depend on innings from certain performers, and then when you don't have it, I think it certainly adds a little level of complexity and difficulty. But honestly, as our guys have really just bought into the fact that whatever guys we have available that night to try to prevent as many runs as we can to win a game and do it again the next day. So I think that mindset is just the honest way we kind of manage it. I think if you sort of look at the IL list, then it gets more daunting and discouraging. So I think that's kind of how we manage it.
How much did it help going through all that at the end of last year through the postseason, kind of like a similar situation, and being able to manage it and win?
I think that's part of it, but also you kind of go through it as we went through it last year, and you say, we got through that one. It can't be as bad as what we went through, and as we look here in 25, I think we've bettered last year. So, but I do think, yeah, Jack, we did it last year. We're going to do it again this year.
Dave, how do you not?
Wrinkle though, you have so much season left ahead of you, obviously. And
Thanks for that, Sonia. Thank you for that. Yeah, it is a different wrinkle that I didn't really want to pay much attention to, but yeah.
How do you not let that change your mindset as a team, Dave? Because when you start the year, you're kind of, not to say super rotation, but you obviously had much different names in the rotation when the year began. now it looks a lot different with the guys that you're missing. How do you not think differently or worry more? Or
I just don't think it's helpful. I don't think me talking about it, me bringing light helps the players, helps the mindset. Quite frankly, helps the guys that are backfilling, right? We have to have confidence in those guys. So, there's some guys that I certainly didn't expect on our roster right now pitching, but I'm throwing them out there in leverage and giving them an opportunity. So, that's kind of how I look at things.
Is Glasnow thrown his bullpen yet back in LA? Or is that
He threw today, and I think it was 16 or 19 pitches, and he said he felt great afterwards. So don't know what that means as far as velocity, but I know he was getting after pretty good.
How about the rookies update?
Roki had an off day. I think he had a great day in Los Angeles. Thanks for asking.
Last one, guys.
Yoshino
pitch on Monday.
Excuse me?
Yoshino pitch on Monday.
Correct.
The doctor is monitoring tomorrow for the showcase BP, or he's in LA?
I think he's in LA. Thank you.
thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.